Hi, and welcome to another Bizmantools tutorial video. Today we'll be looking at understanding the products and raw materials screen, waste, price lists like automatic price list imports, manual price list import, and manual price changing, and finally kits. Let's take a look at understanding the products and raw materials screen. First, let's go to the products and raw materials screen. This is found under Materials Management, Products and Raw Materials. This screen contains all of your raw materials entered into the program, your finished goods, which are the products you've built, including the templates you've made, and your kits, which are the set of instructions of how Bizman creates items like windows and doors. Each line represents one item or one raw material, with all of its information running along the screen towards the right. There is a very important button towards the right called Toggle View. This takes all of those fields related to the specific item you've had selected and displays it all on one page. Another button you'll be using a lot is the Material Prices and Variance button. This will bring up the price screen related to the item you have selected and will also show any variance of that item. To understand the screen a little better, let's have a look at the raw materials. To do this, change the class to RM for raw materials. Change the range to glass. Now select a glass like LSG 6.38 and select Material Price and Variance. Now we see the different types of LSG 6.38 like clear, low elam, solar view tints, etc. And next to each type you'll see the cost. You can change the cost for each type here. If you press the Show Variance button, you'll see the variance belonging to that type. So for the type clear, we have 5 variants, one of them being NA, which is then simply clear without any variations. A variant is another version of the specific type, and you can use this for multiple things like having different glass sheet sizes for clear LSG 6.38 with their own override size and override waste, which then sets the new size. A useful tip is that the Material Prices and Variance screen is a floating screen, so you can keep it open while you move between different items. Now, do you see next to the sheet size it says prices are per meter squared? You can tell the program if your prices are the rate per square meter or the prices are for that specific sheet size. You do this by toggling the view and selecting or deselecting this item cost per size checkbox. While we are on the screen, let's have a look at the important fields: name, description, range, units, size, depth, item cost per size, variance, optimized meters, optimized square meters, use general or specific waste, category or subcategory, default department, cavity item type, cavity value, and finally, if the item has inertia values like mullions, then also the raw materials fields 2 tab, the inertia values IX and IY. Also note, you can manipulate the layout of these types of screens and save it for your specific user. This will be covered in a specific video on layout in the advanced series. Before we leave the section, let me show you how to add a new glass type to your list. You could enter all the information manually, but we recommend doing the copy as method to create a good foundation for your new material. So to create a new glass, first select a glass that is closest to the glass you want to create. In this case, we want to create a 22mm double glazed glass, so we'll select the 90mm double glazing glass. Click Copy As, edit the name to be double glazing 22mm, and do the same for the description. Select Yes in copying the variance, and there you go. You now have double glazing 22mm glass. Now we just need to change the information to reflect this new size. So we toggle view and change the depth to 22mm. Notice how this changes the cavity value to 22 as well. It's important that both are the same. Also change the sheet size to reflect the maximum sheet size you buy this glass in, and change whether this uses your general waste, which is set in parameters, or if it has item specific waste. In this case, we will give it an item-specific waste of 3%. Next, click on Material Types and Variants and add or delete any unwanted types, and also change the price for this new glass. In this case, the only type is clear cut to size, so we can leave that type and simply change the cost. Finally, click Save and then click Update Cache. And that's all you need to do to add a new material. The same steps can be applied to any material like aluminium, for instance. Just remember to check the inertia values when you're working with structural aluminium. Waste. Waste can be set at 3 levels. The highest level is the general waste set in parameters under costing and quoting. You can also set waste at an item and variant level. To set waste at an item level, go to Products and Raw Materials, select your range. In this case, we're going to look at glass, and let's have a look at float formal. So we select the float formal and click Toggle View. Here you'll see that Use General Waste is unticked, and that an item-specific waste is given. If you want to set any item to use your general waste, you simply tick this checkbox. If you want to set variant-specific waste, click on the material prices and variant, and then click on Show Variants. If you have the default settings in your program, you should see a few variants like this. Under the variant column is the name. Everything after is specific variant settings that will apply. In this case, these variants are only making use of changing the sheet size, but you can also see a column called Override Waste. Here you can set a specific waste cost when this variant is selected. For example, different sheet sizes might have different waste percentages. To give a waste percentage at this level, simply type in a value under Override Waste and click Save, or simply move up or down to the next row. Bizmantools will automatically save your work if you move between rows. Price lists. There are 2 ways to import price lists: automatically if your Bizmantools comes from an aluminium supplier, or manually to add other supplier price lists into the program. To do the automatic price list import, simply make sure you're in the full view and go to System Admin, Standard Imports, and click on Check or Update Price List. And follow the prompts. It's that easy. You also will be notified if there's a new price list when you start the program, in a similar fashion to being alerted that there's a new update. It's extremely important to make sure all of your jobs are locked before you update your price list so that you don't override your old jobs with new different prices. Unless you want to do that, in which case leave your project unlocked, and next time you recalculate the BOM, you'll be using the new prices. To import another price list into the program, go to the second tab, Inventory Items and Price List, and browse to your price. Due to the many different styles of price lists, I've decided here to not show you how to use the screen just yet, and will instead have a full video on this in the advanced series. Now, when it comes to manual price changing, you can always go to the Products and Raw Materials, find your material, click on Material Prices and Variant, and simply change the price, like I've shown previously in this video. Kits. Kits are probably the most complicated part of Bizmantools, and are covered in Status 3 of the Status Written Guides on Bizmantools. I recommend you read through that section to get an idea of how kits work. For this video, however, I'll show you where to find the different kit screens, and I'll create a kit for the double glazing 22mm glass I made earlier, as it won't be usable until there is a kit telling the program what components to pair with the double glazing 22mm glass. If you go to the Products and Raw Materials screen and change the glass to Kit, a button will be usable on the right called Kit Parameters. This screen contains all the kits and is split up between the kit headers and all the other kit lines. If you want to look at the other kit lines that are associated with the specific kit, you can simply double-click the kit header, which will then open the other kit line tab up with the corresponding kit lines. You can also use the Clear Filters button to reset your search parameters. The other area to work with kits is in the drawing screen itself. Now, we don't need to use any specific drawing for this, nor do we need to start a new drawing. Simply find any line item that has a drawing and get into the drawing screen. Change the range to the range of the kit you want to use. In this case, we are changing to the shop range. Next, click on the Kits tab, and here we'll select which kits we want to work with. Since I'm interested in creating a glass kit, select any main kit that contains glass. For example, the shop front sash. Now, as we did before with the material, select the closest kit to the one we want to create. I'll select the 19mm double glazed glass kit. Once that is selected, click on these 3 arrows to open what is called the kit slider. Now we are looking at both the main kit, which is your outer frame, and the glass kit. Use the buttons Open Main or Open Glass to show only the main or glass kit. So here we choose open glass. Now we're looking at the 90mm double glazed glass kit. So what we do here is click copy kit, change the name, change the description, and assign a new kit to a range. In this kit, we will leave it in shopfront. And there you go. You've now created a new glass kit. All you need to do is change the materials to be correct and save the kit. So here we change the glass to the 22mm double glazing glass we made earlier, and then change the beads and the gaskets to be correct. This was quite a long video, and it was difficult to fit in enough information on such a wide variety of topics. I suggest going through the status documents to get a clearer idea of how these areas work. There will probably be specific videos covering these topics in greater detail. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I hope you found this video informative and useful, and make sure to check out the next video in this series. Until next time.